78% of Americans don't know what to do with their clutter. And 47% of people have rooms they don't even allow guests to go into because of how dirty they are. Honestly, this doesn't surprise me. I was definitely in that 78%, and I had so much clutter that I felt like I was drowning in it. I'm here to tell you that it definitely can get a lot easier and a lot better. But honestly, my house is not always perfect. Though I've decluttered over 80 to 90% of the things that I own in my house, and we live as a minimalist family as much as possible, we live. We take out our toys, we read books, and we eat, and we enjoy ourselves. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. But with these easy 15 less than 1 minute habits, I've learned to at least take back control. Though we might not be perfect, perfect was never what I was aiming for. I just need it to be easier. All right, so let's start with the first one, which is just as you're getting up in the morning, I want you to make your bed. Now, if you've watched any of my other YouTubes before, you're like, hello, you're repeating yourself. But here's why I keep talking about this. Because when I was growing up, I hated making my bed. My mom always made me do it, and I found like it was the most frustrating, annoying thing in the world. Then I got to college and I never made it. I figured I'm rolling back into bed in a few hours. Why should I make my bed? And that consisted of most of my adult life until I really started to look at why people make their bed. Well, it's because it is the first moment in your day that you can put your best foot forward. It is the first moment in your day that you are doing something for yourself to make your life a little bit easier. Here is where I kept going wrong and why I could never keep the habit of making my bed. It was too hard. I had 5 or 6 pillows on the ground. I had a bunch of different blankets I had to fold. When we make friction, when we make our lives harder than they need to be, we cannot build in that habit. So what I want you to do right now, even if you love the throw pillows, even if you love having all the extra blankets, I want you to take them away and put them in another room. And I want you to spend a few nights or a few weeks, because they say 30 days to build a habit, without them. Until you can get in the habit of every day just rolling over, flipping your side of the blanket down, flipping the other side of the blanket down, and moving on with your day. Then you have a habit, sure, bring back a few of the pillows if you really like them. But until you can make the habit so easy that it feels ridiculous not to do it, you're never going to be able to build in these habits. So the second one is to hang up your keys when you walk in the door. And honest to God, this was one of the hardest for me to get used to because I lost my keys almost every day, at least a couple times a week. And it was the most frustrating, scary, irritating moment of my day every morning when I was searching in all my bags and all my pair of pants in the morning looking for my keys, going late to work because I couldn't find them. I even lost my spare key to my car that I have right now, probably like 4 or 5 years ago when I just lost my keys and they're gone. So what I will say is that when you hang up your keys and you have a habit of putting them in the same place over and over and over again, like I said, it's probably going to take you at least 30 days, but make it so easy that it's going to be a no-brainer. Put it right by the door or put the bucket right near the door, somewhere where you immediately feel like, okay, I want to put things down anyway. Put it where you keep seeing your keys being dropped. Don't put them in your purse unless you're only going to use one purse and it's always going to be right there by the door. Don't put them in your pants when you're running inside because you're going to forget that they're in there. And even now, sometimes I'll put them in the wrong place. And once I see them, I'll be like, no, we have to hang them up. And so the more you repeat to yourself what your brain is supposed to do, the easier that habit becomes. So the last one, number 15, is probably one of the best habits I've built in for myself. So you're going to have to wait to the end if you want to hear it. But let's go to number 3. So number 3 is something I am very guilty of. But here's how I use this rule. Don't walk past an item on the stairs more than once. So that first time I walk by the item, I'll be like, I got to go to the bathroom. So I'm running up the stairs. I'm not thinking about it right now. But if I walk past it again, I have to put it away. I am the worst at putting things on the steps and then walking away. This is why I wish I lived in a rancher, because there'd be no steps. I would have to just put it away. But I put things on the steps, not wanting to have to go all the way upstairs, and I leave them. But now, building in the habit of, if I walk past it more than once, I'm going to just go put it away, because honestly, guys, it's only going to take me like maybe 30 seconds to go put the shorts in the basket where they belong. But having to constantly see them on the steps means it's telling my brain I have a list of things I need to get done, and I'm not checking things off my list. Okay, you can probably obviously tell I get excited about these because they're so easy. They're such easy habits, but they have changed the way my house runs, and it makes it so much easier for me. But if you like learning about minimalism, decluttering, organization, then my name is Becky Truda, and this is Minimalese, and I'd love for you to just subscribe and join this channel if you're finding value here. So number 4 is to put your shoes away when you walk in the door. Have an easy place to put them away, a quick place to put them away. So this is something that I really put into place with my brother's ex-girlfriend. She was from an Asian country, I want to say Vietnam. Her family was from there, and this was one of their habits that they said that they always used, to not bring in bad things from the outside, which makes sense, like our mud, our germs, all the stuff all over our house. But this was not a habit that my mom ever made us do. We just put our shoes wherever, honestly. But what I will say is that I really liked this rule because, one, it stopped me from having to do so much vacuuming because we didn't have the dirt walking all over our house. And 2, I stopped losing my shoes. So, as obvious as those things sound, they were not something that I had ever built into place. But now what we do is I have 3 baskets, one for each of us by the front door. We put our shoes in there. If they're really muddy, I have a like mud mat that we can put them on for rainy days. But if not, we just put them in the basket, and every week or so, I will just dump the dirt from the basket outside the door. For me, it's simple, it's easy. We cut down on the amount of shoes that we each own because they have to fit in our basket. So that has worked for me. But finding a place and finding a system that works for you, putting your shoes by the door, will stop you from having to do extra vacuuming or sweeping, and also will stop you from having to search so hard for your shoes. All right, number 5 is tiny things go in tiny homes. So this is something that I do with our remotes, our chapstick, my earrings, pieces of jewelry, things like that. I find tiny homes for tiny things. So you can see right behind my couch, I have our remote and I have my chapstick, I have some hand lotion, things that I want while I'm sitting near the couch. I keep it minimal, but what I do like to have is a little basket there so that everything feels like it is confined in a little space. Before I started doing this, we'd always lose the remote. It was always either walking around, it was like in the kitchen or upstairs. Who knows why people walk away with the remote? But when you put a little home where you want something to go, it becomes a habit of keeping things where they're supposed to be. Number 6 is to fix your couch, or if you have chairs, whatever, in your living room before you go to bed. So this is not something that I am always perfect at, because a lot of times my husband stays up later than I do. But when I'm the one going to bed first, I will fix the pillows, I will fold the blanket and call it a night. And here's why. Because one of my favorite things to do in the morning when I wake up is to come downstairs and just feel at peace. Now, not everything is perfect, but if you pick some of the little things in life, like the couch, then it's an easy win. I will be honest, I don't always put all my dishes away. I try to wash them at night for sure, but I don't always get to dry them and put them away. But the couch is so simple and it's such a big thing that a lot of times it feels like such a huge win if I can accomplish that goal. So I will like fluff up the pillows and I fold the blanket, put it on the couch, and that's it. I'm done. It is a big piece of furniture that can have a really big effect when it is put together and looks nice. All right, so the 7th habit that I've learned really only since becoming a minimalist and being able to cut down on the amount of things I have is keeping things up off of the floor. Now, when it comes to purses or book bags or my mop, things that are always around, things I need all of the time. I very much try to keep things up off the floor. One, we have a Roomba. It's kind of an off-brand Roomba, I think. And I like to run it while I'm gone. But if I have all these things, all these bags on the floor, all these jackets on the floor, I can't run that without going all the way around my house, picking up all this stuff. So if in your mindset, you build in a habit that things need to be hung up, like I have hooks by the door that are for our bags, for our dog leashes. I have hooks for our jackets and our big beach bag that go in the closet. And I have a command hook, which is amazing, by the way. If you have a mop or a broom that you like to use, we like to use a mop in our house. This command hook changes lives. Maybe not that dramatic, but I really, really enjoy this command hook, and I didn't have to drill anything in the wall, so it's apartment friendly, all the good stuff. But it keeps the mop up off the floor, so when my Roomba does come through the kitchen, it can easily get up under everything without having any major issues. So the 8th thing that you can do in 1 minute that is going to change up your cleaning routine, make your life a lot easier, is to have a rag around your sink that you can use to wipe out your sink every time you brush your teeth. So this is something I have been doing for years now. Back when I used to use a lot of paper towels, I would use a paper towel, but now that we don't buy paper towels anymore, I just use a rag. So we always have a rag near and around our sink. Sometimes I'll throw it into the bathtub if I don't want to look at it, but wiping out the sink right after you brush your teeth is such a simple task, but it's one of those things that when we don't and we start forgetting about it, the sink gets gross. You don't want to wash your hands. It just gets nasty. That is probably a 10-second or less chore to do, but if you make it so easy for yourself, it will become second nature. Have that rag right around the sink or right in the bathtub and wipe it out before you put your toothbrush away. Number 9 is to put those toiletries in the drawer. Now, I recently just read a study that I'm gonna go into a lot more in my next video about the broken window theory. So you can go ahead and look that up. It has nothing to do with leaving your toiletries out, but it's a very good idea when it comes to when you leave one thing out, other things happen. So the broken window theory basically talks about how when there is a broken window in a building, and it's left there and it's left looking awful, that a lot of times it will lead to more broken windows. One bad thing leads to more bad things because when we see something that is not taken care of, we think we don't have to take care of it. We don't have to keep it up and make it look nice. So it very much goes along with when we create piles, like leaving our toiletries out on the bathroom countertop. Because when we see that contact lens case left out, we leave out our deodorant, and then my daughter will leave out her toothbrush, and then things will start to gather, and it makes that area look messy, and it makes it harder for me to clean the countertop. So finding a place in your house, whether it's underneath the sink or in the cabinet or a drawer, and put them out of sight will make the room feel a lot bigger and nicer, and also will make the cleaning process a lot easier and more inviting. Okay, so 14 is to keep an almost empty nightstand. So here's why I like this idea. Because when you lay down in bed at night, I like to have very few things visually around me. If your room is very messy, there are lots of scientific research that says it is harder to go to sleep when you have a very messy room. Our brains are going, we're creating all these lists, we're thinking about all these things we need to do. Our eyes are bouncing off all the things in our room. We need to create a space that we can sleep, a place that feels calm, cozy, and peaceful. So when you look over at your side table, if you have 1 million things scattered across the top of your side table, and you have all these drawers just busting out full of stuff, that is a sign that you have things you need to take care of. I want you to cut down on that to the point where you are only seeing the absolute necessities, whatever those are for you. So when I roll over and I'm looking at my side table, the only things I have are my chargers for my phone and my watch, and then I'll have maybe a book or a journal and my chapstick. I don't want a whole lot of stuff. Now, there might be more things for you that you absolutely need when you go to bed, but honestly, those things and probably my water bottle
are all I'm bringing. And so when I look over there, it's calm, it's peaceful, and it's only what I need. All right, so the last one, number 15. I told you this is one of my favorites, and we were just mentioning this. So on the side table, I have a gratitude journal. I recently just got this from Clever Fox, and I really love this journal. I even went so far as joining their affiliate program and getting you guys a link so that you can get a discount for this journal in particular, because it is a one-pager that you do every day. You start yourself off in the morning with one of them. It talked about like what's going to be your theme song for the day. What are you grateful for? Calming down at night, it has like 3 lines. How did your day go? It is a great way to start off your day feeling successful, feeling like I've got this. And it's a great way to end your day and kind of quickly scale through the things that happen throughout your day and how to go to bed feeling grateful and like you have done the best you could with what you were given. So if you look right here, guys, there are going to be 2 videos that are going to keep you going on your minimalist journey. So go ahead and click one of those right now, and I will see you guys again very soon.